מה? מה? הלל בן יהודית דפנה, בעזרת השם. שיש שידוכים טובים לכולם. Okay, we are in the Omid Yom Shir of Dirshu, and we are Maseches Shabbos Daf. We're at the very bottom of Daf Lamed Omud Beis, because really today's Omud is Lamed Aleph Omud Aleph. Very, very famous story. The story is about Hillel Hazokin and how patient he was. That's good for Erev Pesach. You can get nervous. You hear the stories about Hillel Hazokin, you will learn how to be calm and patient. Don't know about him. Last line of the page. A person should always be as anvasan, as humble as Hillel, and should not be as particular or midasadin, harsh like Shammai. And the truth is that obviously Shammai's midah was also good. We all know the story, even before it started. So they say Shammai's midah was also right. Shammai had a point when he rejected those people. But still, it's better to be like Hillel, right? Even though Shammai was a very big person, Adam Gadol, still, at the end of the day, it's better to be like Hillel. And now, let's start the story. The first story only describes Hillel, depicts Hillel, not Shammai. The first story is only about Hillel, nothing to do with Shammai, and then we have the story that compares Hillel and Shammai. That's the second story. Maisa b'nei Odom, there were two people, well, obviously not very nice people. Maisa b'nei Odom, shehimru zeh et zeh. They made a bet. Yeah, himru, they arvu. Yeah, they made a bet between them, and what did they say? Omu, they said, Kol mi she'elach v'yakni tesilel, yitol 400 zuz. Whoever will go and be able to Yakni Tesila, to annoy Hillel, to get Hillel out of his comfort zone and to make him angry. Whoever manages to anger Hillel will win 400 zuz. 400 zuz is a lot of money. Yeah, it's a good bet. It's worth it to make Hillel angry. So they thought, in order to get that kind of money. Amar echad mehem, one of them said, okay, I'm taking the challenge. I'll manage to get him angry, and I'm going to get the 400 zuz. That day was Friday. They have nothing better to do with their time than betting on Friday. It was a Friday of Shabbos. Hillel was washing his hair, his head. Olach the ova al Pesach beisoy. Yeah, the person who was trying to make him angry passed near his house. He was walking near the house of Hillel Azoken. Omar, and he was calling out, Mikan Hillel, Mikan Hillel. Is there any Hillel over here? Any Hillel happens to be here? Which is already very degrading. Rashi says Hillel was Nasi Soil. Wasn't just a Talmud Chacham, was also like the leader of Klal Yisrael. And this person was obviously very insolent, very big mechutzaf already now, starting on the left foot on purpose. So Hillel wrapped himself up in a towel, bathrobe, whatever, and he went out towards this person, not only not being angry, and also he was disturbed in the middle of this Friday shower. I'd like to add something, which is my own idea, maybe interesting, something came to mind when I was preparing it, that Hillel, I'm almost sure Hillel is the one who said that it's a mitzvah to take a shower because you're born in the image, you're created in the image of Hashem. So that's why taking care of your body and making sure your body looks nice and clean is a mitzvah. So Hillel wasn't stam taking a shower, he was also doing a mitzvah, not only for Shabbos, but stam to wash is a mitzvah, according to Hillel. He is the one who said washing is a mitzvah. Him. And he also obviously washing for Shabbos. I saw in the Meforshim, this is the source of washing for Shabbos. So he's doing two mitzvahs, and stam it's annoying to stop in the middle of a shower, right? And he's leaving the shower all happy with no any feelings of anger. Yeah, what would we have done if the disturbance in the middle of the shower? So then, what did he do? He told him, B'ni mata mevakesh. My son, he's calling him my son. No. B'ni mata mevakesh. What would you like? What do you want? I have a question to ask. Ask my son, ask. And the question was, very urgent question there of Shabbos in the middle of the shower. Why are the heads of the people for Bavel, the Babylonian, why are the heads galgal? Galgal in Hebrew and Rashi's first pshat, galgal means that it's oval. The heads are very oval, very long and not round. The other pshat is the other way around. It's too round. Bekitzer, either galgal, in modern Hebrew, galgal is oval. Yeah, why are the heads oval shaped? Galgal is not round enough. It's like too narrow. Why is that? Right? a question, and yet Hillel told him, Omer lebni she'ela gdola sha'alto. You asked a great question. So the machlokes, some people say she'ela gdola is trying to, he thinks the person is really asking nonsense, but you have to relate to every question seriously, because otherwise the person would be ashamed to ask. You have to let people ask the questions, because otherwise they'll be, if you reject him now, when he has a serious question, he's not gonna ask it either, and that's not good. Also, that's Leila Seder, night of questions. And also, She'ela Gdoilo, others say that it was a good question because he's asking about the Bria, the Teva, by the creation of men. And really, I saw in one of the Meforshim years ago, I saw it in one of the Meforshim, is basically asking the question of like the evolution. How come you have Adam Arishon, which was one person, and you have so many people who are different, black, white? And that's the answer. And he answered, so Hillel answers, their midwives are not smart. Their midwives are underqualified. In other words, the way that the head comes out of the body is not good. They don't treat them well at the time of birth, so some of the head comes out more squashed. Yeah? At the end, I will say about the evolution thing. One of them, Meforshim in the back said it. To make sure Hillel is annoyed more, he waited a little bit. He waited some time, a period of time he waited. And then Chazar v'Omar. And again, he came back after Hillel is back to the shower. And he said, Mikan Hillel. Again, the same insolent way. Who's Hillel over here? Is there any Hillel around? He started Yotza the cross. So again, Hillel, the same spiel. Hillel again is coming out with his towel. Omar lo bni mata mevakesh, my son, what would you like? What do you want? Omar l'sheila yesh l'lishol. I have a question, says Mr. Chacham. Omar l'ishal b'nishal. Yeah, ask whatever you want. Mipnema. Question number 2. Mipnema name shel Talmudim trutois. Why are the eyes of the Talmudim? The Talmudim are the nations which we mentioned in Daf Chaf Aleph. Talmudim are people, and their eyes are trutot. According to Rashi, it's either that their eyes are soft or like watery and soft, or their eyes are very round. They're not like slanted like ours. The opposite of Japanese, like they're very round eyes. Yeah. Why is it so? He really wants to know right now why that is so. Omer lo ibni she'ela gdola sha'alta. Yes, says Hillel, you're asking a great question. Mipnei shedorin ben hachoylois. Because they live amongst the sands. Yeah, they live in a sandy area. So either the sand comes to their eyes and the eyes become very watery because the eyes are irritated by the sand that flies into their eyes, or the reason why the eyes are round is because if the eyes slanted, there's more room for the sand to come in. The eyes look more round, there's less room, less crevices, yeah, for the sand to come in. So in other words, either Kadosh Baruch Hu created different people in different way. I'm going to say the word at the end of the day. Again, he waited another period of time. Shah doesn't necessarily mean a whole hour. I don't think he'll spend that much time in the shower, but basically, yeah, he waited a certain period of time. And again, he waited. And again, for the third time, he comes with his choshev questions. Mikan Hillel, again asking, who's Hillel over here? This atef yotza l'kosoi. Hillel then again wrapped himself up and went out. We would have lost our patient long ago, long ago. I would. I don't know about you. Yeah, Hillel again, he's not losing his composure. Yeah, what would you like? What do you want? I have a question to ask. Ask my son, ask. And the third time, why is it that the feet of the Africans are wide? Yeah, the feet are wide. Why is it the Africans have wide feet? Amar lebni she'ela gdola sha'alta. He asks a great question. Because they live in the marshes. They live in marshy area, and therefore, yeah, they're either that Kadosh Baruch Hu created that way. Yeah, they're either because the Kadosh Baruch Hu created such feet for them to manage to, like the ducks, the animals, the birds that live in the water, they have like wide feet, right? Like yeah, like like the ducks, so they can manage in water. Yeah. Or the other pshat is because they walk on water, because they walk in the water, they don't wear shoes. When they don't wear shoes, the shoe doesn't make their feet narrow, but it stays wide. It becomes wide, nothing narrows it down like a shoe, as opposed to like the European people. So then, okay, and that's the question. I saw in one of the Meforshim, don't remember who, but I saw that years ago. He says that is really the pshat, that we have black people and white people, and all of us were created from Adam Arishon. Because he said with time there are changes. He says that. He says because the environment does change people. So there is something to the Goyshe Chochmah within limit, within our Emunah. Sometimes, the environment changes. They become very tan, they become whiter. The Europeans are not so exposed to the sun, or whatever. They have wider feet because the environment changes, make small mutations, and that's accepted. Either Mlez Moshe one of the Meforshim Nebek, I remember seeing it years ago. Okay, so that's the answer of Hillel. Omar Loi, now the guy, the one who's trying to irritate Hillel, is back on track. Omar Loi, She'elos harbe yesh li lishol. I have many questions to ask. Misyara ani shematichois. I'm scared that you may be angry. So again, I saw the pshat is that he's really shtoching Hillel, saying like, up until now, I also know I'm going to make you angry. He realizes that his questions really are meant to anger Hillel, right? He's also saying, he's still apologizing, I'm scared you'll be angry, meaning what? Why? If you really think it's so important, why should you be angry? You realize you're angering Hillel and you're still doing it. Yeah, I'm scared of you. He's also playing mind games. Hillel is a bad one. You'll be scared, you'll be angry with me. You're like gaslighting. This Atef, Yoshev Lefonov, and then Hillel Mamish wrapped himself up more again and sat in front of him. This Atef means it was serious. He wasn't just wrapping himself up with a towel. This Atef Yoshev is like the Dayonim. We saw in Daf Yud, the Dayonim sit, at the BSD A, they wrap themselves up and sit to show seriousness. Hillel showed him all the seriousness in the world. He has all the time in the world. Erev Shabbos, middle of the shower, Atef Yoshev. Amarle, and Hillel told him, Kol shelos sheyesh lecha lishol sh'al. Any questions you want to ask, you can ask me right now. Amarle, so the Mechutzef answers, Atau Hillel shekor nois chanosi Yisrael. Are you Hillel, and you are called, you're considered as the Nasi, the president, the head of Am Yisrael? Amarle, yes I am. Amarle, so he told him, Atau lo yirbuk moitzcha b'Yisrael. I wish there wouldn't be more people like you in Am Yisrael. So nice. Amarle, b'ni mipnei ma, my son, he still calls him my son, a slap in the face, yeah? B'ni mipnei ma, why do you say that? Amarle, mipnei shbadeti al yodcha b'amoy zuz, because I lost because of you 400 zuz. That, and it's Hillel's fault, yeah? Because of you, I lost 400 zuz. Amarle, so Hillel said, evizoy beruchecha, you have to be careful with your odds, giving a musar, be careful to control your mood, your ruach. It's better for me and for you. It's a chus for me that you lose 400 zuz and another 400 zuz because Lamaisa, he lost the 400 zuz that he would have gotten. So now he has to pay 400 zuz. That's how bets go. Right? Betting means either I lose or I win, right? It's still better that I shouldn't be angry, even if it means that you're losing a lot of money, losing 400 zuz. Tosis points out, Tosis is only hinting, there's a tiny Tosis in the top. Tosis says, Dina asmachta mefush b'mokem acher. Tosis just wants us to know, to hint that the whole idea of making a bet, arvut, is not so simple. Asmachta loikanya, right? There's an opinion. It's machloikis, yeah? Some say that if you say, I bet you that I'll pay 400 zuz, you're not saying it with your whole heart. When you bet, you really say, I'm sure that I'm right. Had you know that the other guy would be right, he wouldn't have gone into the bet. So you're not really 100% maskim, you're not really agreeing, right, to that, right, to lose. So there's a chashash, asmachta is a chashash, maybe it's like a little bit of gzeila. That's one pshat where people who do gambling and betting are pasul le'edus. That's one opinion in Sanhedrin. Sanhedrin of Mitzvah. Now we're going to see 3 stories, and those stories compare or actually discern and divide between Shammai and Hillel. 2 different approaches, both of them. Right. Enochri, a guy came in front of Shammai. How many Torahs do you have? We have 2 Torahs, Torah Shebechtav and Torah Sheba'al Peh. Yeah, Torah Shebechtav is written. Al Peh is a Mesorah from Chachomim. I only believe you regarding the Torah Shebechtav. Torah Sheba'al Peh, I do not believe in. I don't hold Torah Sheba'al Peh is right. I don't believe in the rabbi's interpretation. I want you to convert me to Judaism on condition that I will only be believing in Torah Shebechtav, like he wants to become a karoi, somebody who doesn't believe in Torah Sheba'al Peh. He rebuked him, and he kicked him out, he evicted him, kicked him out, expelled him, with harsh words, with Nazifa, with like a rebuke. And the Foshim explained that he was treated worse than the other two Gerim. He just he didn't rebuke them, he just kicked them out with a stick. This one is Goy boy, because even a Goy is supposed to believe in Torah Shebaal Peh. Goyim are supposed to keep Sheva Mitzvahs B'nei Noach. What Sheva Mitzvahs B'nei Noach? The details that Chazal decided. What's called marriage by Goyim, only according to Chazal. If you're a Goy and you don't believe in Torah Shebaal Peh, it's bad enough. Elamai, you still want to be a Jew and stay like that? That's terrible. That's like Geora and Nezifa, double. You really are a bad kid. Balifnei Hillel, then he came to Hillel. Gaire, he was Megair him. How come he was Megair him? Because Hillel realized that he's not a Lahachisnik. Hillel realized that this man is really he's lacking knowledge. He doesn't really try to rebel. He just doesn't know. And Hillel took a risk here, knew he's going to teach him, make him knowledgeable, and then everything will be fine. Yom HaKama, then on the first day, Omer Hillel told him, Aleph Beis Gimel Daled. Hillel taught him the Aleph Beis, like you teach a 3-year-old. The Machar, the day after, one day later, Apichlei, he switched the order, and he told him that Aleph is Daled, and Beis is Daled or Tashrak, the Aleph is Taf, and Beis is Shin. He switched it around. Omerle, so the new Ger says, you didn't say that yesterday. Yesterday you didn't say that. You're changing your mind. Omerle, so Hillel told him, didn't you rely on me? How do you know that Aleph, this is big Yesod in Kiruv, in Ashkofa. How do you know Aleph is Aleph? You relied on me, that Aleph is Aleph, and now you believe it's the truth. Now you think I'm lying. Believing on who? Believing who? Believing me. I told you Aleph is Aleph. How do you know Aleph is Aleph? I don't know Bereshis is Bereshis. Yeah, the Reform Rabbi. How does it, Rabbi? Maybe Bereshis is the Kocha. How do you know? They all believe in that. How do you know? It's all Torah Shebaal Peh. Torah Shebachtav is, it's an amazing thing. Torah Shebachtav is really Al Peh. To say that Beis is Beis and Reish is only oral tradition. Maybe it's not. Maybe these signs like the hieroglyphics, they don't know what they mean. Maybe Beis is Elamai. Everything is Torah Shebaal Peh. Everything is really taught by oral tradition. So therefore, so all the details I'm telling you rely on me also. Shchita. We don't know how to do shchita. Chazal, zavachta kasher tziviticha. How zavachta? We don't know how. Well, classical example, but Rishonim. Yeah, you have to be zovech, shecht. How do you shecht? Maybe you have to behead it with a gun. No, Elamai. Chazal, the same Chazal that told you the base is base and Aleph is Aleph, they told you that shchita means shchita like we know it today. It's all about pen. So what if it's not written? Everything is anyhow oral. It's an amazing thing. It's a very, very choshev thing in Yiddishkeit. And therefore, this is something which we have to know. This is what Hillel used as the tool. And then the Ger was happy. Hillel realized he wasn't the hachisnik. He was just lacking knowledge. Like many people, sometimes people, Bechilonim, they sound very anti, right? They're not really anti. They just don't know. Right? Sometimes a lack of knowledge makes them see the story. You just explain to them a few lines, and they change their attitude. Shuv Ma'aseh Benochri Echad. Second story about a ger. Another guy, Echad Shabbat Lifnei Shammai. He came to Shammai. Omalei. He asked Shammai, Geireni al Menashe Telavdeni Kol HaTorah Kulo. I want you to be megayer me on condition that you teach me the entire Torah. Shani Omed al Regel Achas. Well, I'm standing on one foot. I don't know how long you can stand on one foot. Yeah, you have to learn the entire Torah, the entire life. Plus, from my experience, an entire lifetime is not enough to learn the whole Torah. He wants to do it on one foot. So what did Shammai do? He pushed him with the Amas Abinyan, with the measuring rod, with the measuring stick of the binyan, of the building. He was a builder, Shammai by profession, whatever, architect. And he had like a measuring rod, and with that he pushed him out. So he didn't rebuke him, but what did he show him? That's a famous word by a few meforshim. Shammai Amas Habinyan is measuring. In other words, Yiddishkeit is not a feel-good thing. It's not a Zen Buddhism, do whatever you want. Yiddishkeit is an Amma. What's Amma? Measurement. And it's a binyan, it's a building. You can't build a whole building when you're standing on one foot. And also there's measurement, there's right, wrong, there's numbers, it's a math. It's precise science, Yiddishkeit. You can't just feel good and, learn the whole thing on one foot. That was the lesson Shammai taught him, and it was a good lesson. It was a good lesson as of itself. But then, Balifnei Hillel, now he came in front of Hillel, because it was pushed away, he was rejected by Shammai. Gaire, And again, Hillel realized that this guy, Hillel, with his Ruach HaKodesh, his Chochmah, realized there's potentially good material over here. He took a risk. I saw actually in the booklet, I don't remember, B'Shem they say that some people say that he wasn't Mamish Megayer. He told him, I'll start the process and eventually I'll be Megayer. That's not so Pasha Pshat, that's what some people say. The Pasha at Gaire, Omer Loy, and he told him on one foot, De'alach Sani Lechavrech Loy Ta'avid. Oh, what you hate, don't do to your friend. Yeah, that's a golden rule. What you Sani, what you hate, don't do to your friend. Soon we'll see what that means. Zoi Kolo Kula. This is the entire Torah. Don't do bad. What you don't want to be done to you, don't do to others. The Idach, all the rest, Perushahu, all the rest is just commentary. Zil Gmo. Go and learn the rest. What does it mean? Rashi brings two pshatim. Pshat number one is HaKadosh Baruch Hu is called in the Novi and also in Mishnais and Ovis a friend. It's hard to understand, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a friend. It's not really a friend. Mikra is like a friend. Do you want, you don't want people to disobey you, right? Your wife, your children, society, your boss, your employer, your friend in Koilel, in the army. When people don't do what you want, it's annoying, right? So what do you do to Hashem? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, simple logic. Hashem, you don't want you don't want to be disobeyed. Well, Hashem doesn't want that either. Of course, Baruch Hu doesn't have feelings of human beings, but Kol Sheken. And the other pshat is that most of the Torah, although not all, is ben adam l'chaveron. There's a lot of ben adam l'chaveron. Also, tznius, nius is also ben adam l'chaveron. A married woman or husband, or you disturbing others by being lo tzanua, all that, So all these things are ben adam l'chaveron, is a major part of Torah. The end, if you're very good in ben adam l'chaveron, this is the rule. This should be your mindset. The rest you go and learn your whole life. But I can't tell you on the regel achas the essence of Torah. There was a difference between Shammai and Hillel. Of course, Hillel knew that Torah is grand, but you can teach the essence. By the way, also I saw here that they say he didn't tell him, that's already a higher darga. At least, even if you don't love your friend like yourself actively, at least don't do dafka against what he says. Don't go against his wishes, even if you're not in the darga of doing everything he wants. After the say, this is the lota say. At least don't bother him. Don't do harm to him as much as you don't want harm to be done to you. Now the third one, Shuv Masa Benochri Echod, the third and final goy in the story. He was walking by behind the Beis Medrash. Yeshama called Soifer. Interestingly, Rashi says there are Soifers Malamit Tinoikus. Basically it was a cheder class, and the Soifer here doesn't mean a Soifer Stam. It means a Rebbe. You pass by cheder. It's very nice to hear the Rebbe, right, teaching the Talmidim. Omer, that Rebbe was teaching the Elab Godim Shariasu Choshen the Efoid. So that guy, I guess his Hebrew was good enough, and he heard the Rebbe saying, "These are the Begodim. These are the garments that you do for the Kohanim, you Choshen, Ephod, all the very, very fancy garments of a Kohen Gadol, Omar." So he asked people, Alalu Lami. That Jewish man, the teacher, when he was teaching about these very grand, fancy clothes, who is meant to be wearing these very nice clothes? Omar Loi, they told him, the Kohen Gadol, to the Kohen Gadol, Omar Oisanochi Be'atzmoi. So this guy naively said to himself, I'll go, I'll become a ger, and I'll make me a Kohen Gadol. Eventually, I'll climb up the ladder, the social ladder. I can't become Bill Gates. I'll become a Kohen Gadol one day. He came to Shammai, which again, as opposed to the first guy who was more like a koifer, the two other guys are behaving like stupidly, right? A regel acha, stupidity. Make me a Kohen Gadol. It's illogical. So Shammai again couldn't take it. Shammai said, there's a measurement, there's a size. You're a ger, this is a Kohen, and the one has nothing to do with the other. I like to measure things in a mathematical way. But then after being rejected, he came to Hillel, Gairi. Hillel was Megair him. Omar Lei, again, Hillel knew that in potential he'll become great. They say, I remember who says what, excuse me, I'm not saying names. I've seen this more a few times, every time different before him. But basically, Hillel saw that he wasn't making fun. Hillel saw the good in every person. He said if he wants to be Kohen Gadol, means that he's really striving for greatness. He didn't see him as a guy who's like, he really saw him as somebody who's really striving to be great. So he can be a big Talmid Chacham, even if he can't be a Kohen. So Hillel did work with him. It's so true with children. You know, a child says, I want to be a king or shtriot. The child is really saying to you, I want to be a great person. That's a grand thing. Omerle. So then Hillel told him, listen, my friend, Kluma midin melech el mishu dat malchus. You want to become a Kohen Gadol, like a king. Who can become a king? Only a person who knows tachsise malchus. Only the person who knows the ins and outs, the rules of the game of the malchus. Yeah, like tachsisim, the way that things work. You have to learn the details. Lech lemoy tachsise malchus. You want to become a Kohen Gadol, you have to learn the tricks of the trade. You have to learn all the tachsisim, all the different mechanisms of how it works. Maybe one day we'll see. We'll talk to you later. Holach v'kora. So that ger really took it seriously. He went and he started learning Chumash. Kevin Shigia, once he has reached the pasuk in Bamidbar, the beginning of Chumash Bamidbar, it says, "V'hazar hakor of Yumas." A zar, what's a zar? A strange person who gets too close to the Kodesh Kodesh shall die, right? A zar is not allowed to be in Kodesh, not even in the Kodesh, let alone Kodesh. He's not allowed to be there. He's going to die. Omerle mikra ze al minemar. This pasuk that a zar, a stranger, should be. He's going to die if he gets too close to Kedusha. Who does it relate to? Who is considered a Zal? Omerle, they told him, Afilu al David Melech Israel. Wow, David. Yesterday we learned about David. Even David Melech Israel, the greatest of all, the greatest king, even he's not allowed to go into the Kodesh. Now he figured it out himself. That ger now basically figured it out with his own logic of Kal V'chomer. And the ger knew that. Israel are called children, sons of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because Hashem loved them so much. Hashem calls each and every Jew, Israel, you're my firstborn. And yet, in spite of that, it says as much as Hashem loves everybody, clearly David the Melech and big tzaddikim, yet when they get too close to where they're not supposed to be, but the Kodesh, they're supposed to die. But they die. If so, ger hakal, the ger, the convert, which is lighter, which is less important, he says about himself. He just came with his staff, with his stick, and his backpack. In other words, he's like traveling. He's like a traveler who just happened to trample into Judaism. He just happened to meet Judaism, as he's walking along in life, searching. He's just a newbie. He's a new guy. He's not Hashem's child yet. Allah has kama v'kama. All the more so that clearly such a person cannot become a Kohen Gadol. Now I understand myself. Now, Balifnei Shammai, that same ger came to Shammai, and according to the Mefarshim, he had a bit of a complaint to Shammai. Omerle, he told Shammai, Klum roi ani lios Kohen Gadol. Am I able to be a Kohen Gadol? Am I suitable, roi, to be a Kohen Gadol? It says in the Torah, Zarkar of Yumas, of course I cannot be. Basically, he's telling Shammai, I figured it out myself. Now, you didn't have to push me, because Hillel was mekarev me, I realized it myself. It happens many times. When you don't tell someone off, eventually they come to it themselves. Right? Zarkar of Yumas, he realized it himself. Malifne Hillel, and then he came to Hillel, that ger, the third one, and he said, Omerle, he told Hillel, Anvosan Hillel, Hillel, you are the humble one. May all the blessings, rest upon your head. You brought me close under the wings of the Shechina. Wow. All these three Gerim, one day, they happened to meet in one place. All three Gerim, and they were talking about their experiences. Maybe it was an Arachim seminar or something like that. Maybe Esha Torah alumni, they all met together to speak about their experiences of Geirus. Amru, and they said, Kapdanusa shel Shammai bikshel tordenu min ha'olam. Shammai's strictness wanted to push us away from the world. We wouldn't have been Jewish. It would be terrible for us. And Vasnusa shel Hillel kiavtam tachas kafei Shechina. Hillel's humble approach brought us close to under the wings of the Shechina. And I saw again in the booklet, they brought down, I don't know B'Shem who, that each one didn't know Shammai had a shita. Why is it that all three of them came together and then they spoke against Shammai? Were they like stam kvetching? Once one person thought maybe it was just me. Maybe Shammai is usually a very nice guy. Only me he rejected. Once they saw it happen to all three of them, was already a support group. Then they realized it's a shita by him. Then they realized that's really his method, its approach. Yeah, like you have a boss, he treats you, he treats everyone like that. That shows that that's essentially part of his approach. And that's what they said. We would have been pushed away. Now, having said that, this Gemara seems to be very Chas v'shalom anti-Shammai. I don't remember the details. I read a very, very nice shtickle, actually, not so long ago, that it happens many times. You're rejected by a Rav, and then he accepts you again, or one Rav rejects you, the other one accepts you. Both are necessary. In other words, although we seem to praise Hillel more, but what Shammai did also helped them. In other words, Shammai, they did learn something from Shammai. After they went to Hillel, Shammai taught them there's a limitation. There's a limit. You can't just do whatever you want. So when they came to Hillel, they already knew that Yiddishkeit is not a child's play. Then, when they had the borders, they had the limitations, then with the Sadin, on top of that, they could build. You want to play on the roof, as they say, first have the fence. Then you can play soccer as much as you want. So Shammai's Midah did help them. They knew, Yiddishkeit is not just a feel-good religion. There are limitations. Oh, now we'll go to Hillel, but we can't live with it. He's rejecting us. Okay, after they got both Hillel and Shammai, Midas Sadin and Midas Chesed, that balance made them the perfect Gerim. Weiter. Omer Reish Lakish. This is about what we're going to face after we die. Omer Reish Lakish. My dichtiv. What does it mean when it says? I'm not going to even translate this pasuk because the drasha is going to come very soon. It says in the pasuk, it's a pasuk in Ishaya. It says, "V'hoya emunas itecha choisen yeshuos chochmas v'das iras Hashem yoitzoroi." Yeah, it talks here about 6 different terms: emunas itecha, faith, itecha, times, choisen yeshuos, the strength of the salvation, chochmas v'das, 2 levels of wisdom. And then it says, Yirash Hashem Yotzori. The Yira of Hashem is the treasure. What does it mean? It talks here about the 6 Sidrei Mishnah. Shisha Sidrei Mishnah are hinted over here. Emunas, and by the way, I just read the whole shtickle from Rav Zilberstein, I think from Bnei Brak, that the concept of Shisha Sidrei Mishnah, as we see here from the Novi, it actually existed way before the Mishnah was written. Rabbi used that system to write the Mishnah. But even when they taught the Torah Shebaal Peh, they had the concept of 6 different sections to Torah Shebaal Peh, even though it was only oral. And here we see it already in the Novi. Emunas the Seder Zroim. Faith, Emunah is Seder Zroim. Why? Rashi says, because in order to take Meiser, you have to have Emunah. A person who has no Emunah, I'm giving Meiser, I'm losing. No, you have to know, you're giving Meiser, you're gaining. That's Emunah. And Tosfos says, B'Shem Yerushalmi, Shema min be'elokim v'zoreah. When you sow the seeds, you believe in Hashem. They say even by the Goyim, so I've heard once, the farmers, there are hardly any farmers that are atheists. You can be an atheist when you work in the top floor in a building in Manhattan with a computer, it can be. But when you work, mamish, and you're waiting for the rain and the sun and the wind, you told in a Kodesh Baruch Hu, you can't deny Kodesh Baruch Hu. You have to be a maimin to be zoreah. So the first Seder in the Shas is Emunah, that's Zoim. The second Seder, Itecha, the Seder Moyed, clearly. Your times, Itecha, Moyed is time. Choisen, the Seder Noshim. Why is Choisen Noshim? Says Rashi, because women are the one, your wife is the one who's going to have your children for you, and they are your strength. They continue your name in the world. You have your Choisen, your strength, your stability in the world by your children through your wife. Also, the wife is mechazik the husband. She saves him from hate, from sinning. Yeshua is the Seder Nezikin. Rashi says, because when you have Seder Nezikin, you can go to BSD. They help you. They save you from, laleinu, from damage. If there was no Seder Nezikin, everybody would jump, steal everything, bump your car, and nothing would happen. Yeah, you get Yeshua by having Chosh and Mishpat. Yeah, you can go to Beis Din and complain, and Beis Din will punish the one who steals or does that. Chochmas is the Seder Kochim. The Kochim is Chochma because we all know Kochim is, you need more Chochma for Kochim. It's harder than other parts of Shas. The Das, the Seder Tyrus. Das is even more. Tyrus is even harder than Kochim, and for that you need Das, which is higher than Chochma. Right? It's even higher than Chochma. Rashi says, Odif mi Chochma. The Afilu Hachi. So let's say the Novi is describing a person that has been through all Shisha Sidra Mishnah. The Afilu Hachi. Nevertheless, Yiras Hashem Yoitzoroi. The year of Hashem is the Oitzo, which means if you don't have, right? Rashi says, Yoitzoi, I want to quote Rashi inside, Hu ikar choshuv be'enav le'etzo v'lasas gula lezikoron. Lasas gula lezikoron. You hear what I'm saying? A person who is Yirah Shammai will remember the Torah. A person who is not Yirah Shammai won't remember the Torah because he doesn't care. The person who really internalizes Torah is the one who cares about Torah, it's Shammai. A person who learns Torah as if it was math or geography or French, he won't remember it as well because he doesn't care about it. The Goin says it also. The Goin also. The Rashi says it here. So you need Yiras Shamayim to remember the Torah and internalize the Torah. That's the more superficial way. There's much more than that coming now. And also, obviously, a person without Yiras Shamayim, his Torah is not worth much. You have to bring all your Torah into an oitzal, into a storage area called Yiras Shamayim. The Yira makes you, save and keep the Torah. Now we're talking about Olam Haba. When they bring a person to BSD Shalmala after 120, scary. They tell him, we follow the same order. First question, were your dealings with Emunah, all your monetary dealings at work, were you doing it in good faith? Did you lie? Or were you a straight person? That's Emunah, the first word, Emunah. Second is Itecho, Kavata Itim LaTorah. Not just did you learn, Kavata Itim. Rashi says people have to work, otherwise if you don't have money, you're going to steal, so people end up having to work. But you have to have set time for learning. Kavata Itim LaTorah, that's Itecho. Third, Osakta Bepiri Berivia. That's the women. That's Choisen, right? Choisen, your strength is having children. If you did not have a boy and a girl, you didn't even try to have at least one boy, one girl, that's bad news. Tzipita Yeshua, that's the next word in the pasuk. Yeshua is. Did you await Mashiach? You have to wait for Divrei Nevim, says Rashi. The Nevim promises Mashiach. You have to wait for Mashiach. The Nusach Sfarad, right? We add the words Umitzapim Yeshua. Ashkenaz don't say it. You have to. We say we are waiting the Yeshua. We're waiting for the Yeshua. What about Chodshim, Chochma, Pilpalta beChochma? Yeah, were you mefalpel when you learned? Were you just superficial, or you mefalpel to go into the depth, the Chochma, in a wise way, not pilpul of shtus, pilpul of Chochma. And the sixth one is das evanta dovo mitach dovo. Yeah, when you have after the pilpul, you understand one thing from the other. That Chochma bin of das. Chochma is the first piece of information. Bina is when you build it, internalize it. Das is the result. It's connected to you. Das is connection. Did you connect to it and you understood the depth of it? Even after all that, wow. In Shamayim, he may tick all the boxes and may be a good boy. I had children and I was Kavaitim the Torah and I was Mefalpel, perfect Jew. But if you don't have Yiras Shamayim, nothing doing. Yeah, it's because to be a good Jew, it's more than ticking the box, minyan, learning. You have to have internal kesher to Hashem. That's Yiras Shamayim. Otherwise, it's not worth anything. Moshel Odom, and the Moshel is compared to a person, Shomer L'shlucho, he told his messenger, Halali kol chitin la'aliyah. I want you, you're my servant, please take a kol that's a large amount of wheat, grains of wheat, take it to the storage room, to the aliyah, to the attic where it's stored. He went, and he took the grains up to the attic to be stored. Omerlei, now the Balabais asked him, did you mix in them a kav? Kav is much less than kol. Did you mix in them a kav of chomton? Chomton, says Rashi, is what we would call preservative. Rashi says eretz melecha, umeshamer says the person malatli. It's like salty kind of earth. It's salty earth, which is like helps the chitim not to be wormy. It deters the worms. That's a deterrent of the worms. No, I didn't put the preservative inside. It's better if you don't have the whole kol. You can have a whole kol of Torah mitzvahs. If you don't have Yiras Shamayim, it's going to get lost. It's going to get lost in the Olam Hazeh, lost in the Olam Haba. You're losing the whole thing. For that, you have to learn Musar. In relation to that, we talk now about dinim of Chosh and Mishpat. Let's say I promised my friend, I'm going to sell you a kol of tvua, and I mixed in it, in the kol, I placed in it, I put inside a kol of tvua minus one kav, and instead of that, I placed a kav of chumtin, of the preservative. It's not called being dishonest because it's a necessity. That preservative is like an accessory. That's an aid. That's something that helps the tvua. So it's not called as if I cheated and I did not sell him a full core. I sold him core with the quality of the chumtin, of the kav chumtin, and together they'll be preserved. That's why it's called. That's a good thing to do. Okay, I'll finish here. So tomorrow, listen. Tomorrow I'll try 6:20. See what happens. I'll be here. Bezos Hashem. I hope there's nothing else going on. And if you're here, great. If not, okay, watch me on Zoom or whatever. Watch other people. There are plenty of Amud Yomi online. Atzlacha V'rocha. Thank you to everybody. May we all be matzliach to the hour of Yiras Shammai. It's a lifetime mission. You know, B'Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said it's easier to finish the entire Shas than to break a bed midah. Right? I finished Shas a few years ago, but the other part is harder. So Atzlacha V'rocha. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Shkoyach.